For Iron Mike, TV interviews became impossible.
No, I'm talking about...
Mike Webster was a football hero, known for his strength on the field, but his life took a tragic turn after retirement. Years of brutal hits left him suffering from chronic pain, memory loss, and depression. As his health declined, so did his finances, and he found himself struggling just to survive, often living out of his truck. In a desperate attempt to seek justice, he sued the NFL for hiding the dangers of head injuries, but the fight only added to his pain. Before we proceed, make sure to subscribe. Even before he retired from the NFL, Webster was already struggling with serious health issues. Doctors later determined he was disabled before he even left the game. After his retirement, things only got worse. Webster experienced amnesia, dementia, depression, and severe pain in his bones and muscles. He ended up living out of his pickup truck or staying in train stations between Wisconsin and Pittsburgh, even though friends and former teammates offered to help. Terry Bradshaw, his longtime teammate, regularly paid for Webster's expenses, and Steelers owner Dan Rooney even paid for a hotel room for him for over 3 months. Still, Webster would disappear for weeks at a time, unreachable by his family and friends. His behavior became increasingly erratic, and he grew so restless that he began using electroshock devices on himself just to force his body to sleep. In the last years of his life, Webster's youngest son Garrett, who was only a teenager at the time, took on the role of caregiver and moved to Pittsburgh to be with his father. Sadly, Mike's personal life also fell apart. His wife, Pamela, divorced him 6 months before his death. Webster passed away in 2002 at the age of 50, following a heart attack. His death revealed a lot of dark secrets. After his death, it was discovered that Webster had chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a devastating brain disease caused by repeated head injuries. He was the first former NFL player to be diagnosed with CTE, and his brain showed the kind of damage previously seen in boxers suffering from dementia pugilistica, or punch-drunk syndrome. Dr. Bennett Omalu, a forensic neuropathologist, examined Webster's brain and found the same damage in other NFL players who had also suffered from similar symptoms. For years, the NFL ignored the dangers of CTE, but Webster's case became the first real proof of the connection between football and long-term brain damage. The league didn't take the issue seriously until 2009, when Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Chris Henry was diagnosed with CTE after his death at the age of 26. Today, Mike Webster's son, Garrett, works as the administrator for the Brain Injury Research Institute in Pittsburgh, encouraging people who have suffered head injuries to donate their brains for research and advocating for players with conditions like his father's. Doctors have speculated that the physical punishment Webster endured during his career was equivalent to being in 25,000 car crashes. This wear and tear, combined with the lack of proper protective equipment during his era, left him vulnerable to the effects of repeated head trauma. In later years, Pamela Webster revealed that she had blamed herself for her husband's erratic behavior, believing she was the cause of his personality changes. It wasn't until after his death that she learned his struggles were due to CTE. Webster also battled addiction to prescription medication, and though rumors circulated, he never admitted to using anabolic steroids, even though they were legal during his career. Webster's tragic end, caused by the game he loved, was brought to the big screen in the 2015 film Concussion, where he was portrayed by David Morse, and Will Smith took on the role of Dr. Omalu. Webster's story is a painful reminder of the risks football players face, and he is now one of at least 345 NFL players who have been diagnosed with CTE after their deaths. His legacy is not just as one of the greatest centers in NFL history, but also as a symbol of the hidden dangers of football and the lasting impact it can have on players' lives. Speaking of the infamous lawsuit,
Legacy, however, goes beyond the playing field. He was the first
former NFL player diagnosed with the brain disease CTE.
Webster's estate took legal action against the NFL, filing a lawsuit in the United States District Court in Maryland. The estate argued that Webster had been disabled at the time he retired from the NFL and was therefore entitled to $42 million in disability payments under the league's retirement plan. The case was a significant one, as it highlighted how much the NFL owed to a player who had given so much to the game, but was left struggling in his later years. On April 26, 2005, a federal judge ruled in favor of Webster's estate, stating that the NFL benefits plan did, in fact, owe $1.18 million in disability benefits to the late player's estate. When interest and legal fees were added, the total amount was estimated to exceed $1.6 million. This was a huge victory for Webster's family, but the battle wasn't over yet. The NFL, hoping to avoid paying the full amount, decided to appeal the decision. However, on December 13, 2006, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit, based in Richmond, Virginia, upheld the original 2005 ruling. The court agreed with the federal judge in Baltimore, affirming that the NFL's retirement plan was obligated to pay the benefits meant for players whose disabilities began while they were still active in the league. This ruling was a crucial win for Webster's estate, securing the long overdue payments that Webster should have received. His skills made him become one of the top 100 players in the league. Standing at 6 feet 1 inch and weighing 255 pounds, Webster was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 5th round of the 1974 NFL Draft. Though he didn't step into the spotlight right away, Webster spent his first 2 years in the league as a backup at both center and guard, learning from veteran center Ray Mansfield. His dedication paid off, and by 1976, he earned the starting center position, where he stayed for an impressive 150 consecutive games. Over time, Webster became an essential part of the Steelers, serving as the team's offensive captain for 9 years. Webster's impact went beyond just consistency. He played a key role in helping the Steelers win 4 Super Bowl titles, 9, X, 13, and 14th. His partnership with quarterback Terry Bradshaw became legendary, making them one of the most well-known center-quarterback duos in NFL history. During his career, Webster was named to the All-Pro team 7 times and selected for the Pro Bowl 9 times, solidifying his reputation as one of the best at his position. Known for his strength and commitment to fitness, Webster was an avid weightlifter. He often played with his arms bare, preferring it that way to prevent opponents from grabbing onto his sleeves. Webster was part of a remarkable legacy of Steelers centers, one of only 5 men to hold that position for the team from 1964 to 2020. After his long tenure in Pittsburgh, Webster passed on his knowledge by mentoring rookie center Dermontti Dawson, just as Ray Mansfield had done for him years earlier. Webster's time with the Steelers ended after the 1988 season when he became a free agent. He then joined the Kansas City Chiefs, initially taking on a role as an offensive line coach. However, the Chiefs eventually allowed him to return to the field as their starting center, and Webster played 2 seasons in Kansas City before retiring on March 11, 1991, capping a remarkable 17-year career. By the time he hung up his cleats, Webster had played 245 games at center, and he was the last active player from the Steelers' 1970s dynasty to retire. At the time, he had also played more seasons as a Steeler than any other player, a record later tied by Ben Roethlisberger in 2018 and broken in 2019. Although the Steelers no longer officially retire jersey numbers, Webster's number 52 has never been reissued out of respect for his incredible contributions to the team. His legacy continues to be honored, and in 1999, the Sporting News ranked him 75th on their list of the 100 greatest football players. Additionally, his high school alma mater, Rhinelander High School in Wisconsin, named their football stadium in his honor, Mike Webster Stadium. In 2007, he was posthumously inducted into the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame, further cementing his place in football history. That is it for this one, but if you happen to like NFL legends, make sure to check out our latest videos on our channel NFL Icons. I'm sure you will love it.